Old Canaan in the New World is a blog that features the book Old Canaan in a New World, Native Americans and the Lost Tribes of Israel. Since this is book questions whether the indigenous Americans were descendants of the lost tribes of Israel. Here is the book summary. From the moment Europeans realized Columbus had landed in a place unknown to them in 1492, they began speculating about how the Americas and their inhabitants fit into the Bible. For many, the most compelling explanation was the Hebraic Indian theory, which proposed that indigenous Americans were the descendants of the 10 lost tribes of Israel. For its proponents, the theory neatly explained why this giant land and its inhabitants were not mentioned in the biblical record. In Old Canaan in a New World, Elizabeth Fenton showed that though the Hebraic Indian theory may seem far-fetched today, it had a great deal of currency and significant influence over a very long period of American history. Indeed, at different times, the idea that indigenous Americans were descended from the lost tribes of Israel was taken up to support political and religious positions on diverse issues, including Christian millennialism, national expansion, trade policies, Jewish rights, sovereignty in the Americas, and scientific exploration. Through analysis of a wide collection of writings, from religious texts to novels, Fenton sheds light on a rarely explored but important part of religious discourse in early America. As the Hebraic Indian theory evolved over the course of 2 centuries, it revealed how religious belief and national interest intersected in early American history. You can find the end quote from book summary from Amazon. https://old-canaan-new-world/dp/capital B. Looks like 07ZKVNC6X. I love the book cover because the author is telling you that the Garden of Eden and the Tree of Life is in the New World, the Americas. Notice that the book cover has the Tree of Life, Mother Mary, or the Kaaba in the center, which is surrounded by 4 pillars that signify the 4 rivers of life that flow into the Garden of Eden. It says you can read more about the Garden of Eden right here, so I'm clicking on that. Okay, I got all of that. All right. All right, the state of New Hampshire has some interesting history. Since the biblical land of Canaan, Lebanon, and Goshen was in New Hampshire in North America. Since it fits the description of the biblical land of Canaan from the Bible. But he did not hearken unto them, and dwelt in the land of Lebanon from Hamath to the entering of Egypt, he and his sons unto till this day, and for this reason that land is named Canaan. Jubilees 10 verses 29 through 34. God brought his people out from Goshen to the land of milk and honey, and drove out the enemy before them with hornets, bees. Deuteronomy 7 verse 20, Joshua 24 verse 12. Additionally, there is a Canaan Goshen, and a Lebanon in the state of Oregon. The giant cedars of Lebanon, aka the cedars of God from the Bible, are heavily associated with the Holy Land or the Promised Land. I believe that the biblical Lebanon was Lebanon. Oregon, since California is known for giant trees, redwoods in Oregon used to be part of Upper California. The state of Oregon sits above California on maps. So yes, Oregon can grow plant trees too. In addition, there is Canaan and Goshen in the state of Oregon, which gives credence to Lebanon, Oregon, being the real biblical Lebanon that was responsible for producing the giant cedars of Lebanon. We have 29 Lebanon places, names in North America: Lebanon, Alabama; Lebanon, Arizona; Lebanon, Arkansas; Lebanon, Colorado; Lebanon, Connecticut; Lebanon, Delaware; Lebanon, Georgia; Lebanon, Illinois; Lebanon, Indiana; Lebanon, Iowa; Lebanon, Kansas; Lebanon, Kentucky; Lebanon, Maine; Lebanon, Mississippi; Lebanon, Missouri; Lebanon, Nebraska; Lebanon, New Hampshire; Lebanon, New Jersey; Lebanon, New York; Lebanon, Ohio; Lebanon, Oklahoma; Lebanon, Oregon; Lebanon, Pennsylvania; Lebanon, South Carolina; Lebanon, South Dakota; Lebanon, Tennessee; Lebanon, Texas; Lebanon, Virginia; and Lebanon, Wisconsin. All of these Lebanon place names is strong evidence suggesting that the biblical Lebanon was in the Americas. Lebanon is a biblical city that is mentioned over 71 times in the King James Version Bible. The biblical Lebanon was established by the Phoenicians, Canaanites, who were the sons of Ham, Cush. The Phoenicians, Canaanites were Washita merged with Hebrew Israelite customs. Lebanon today is still mostly an Arab or an Islamic state in the Middle East. The interesting thing about Lebanon is that in several instances, the Old Testament claims the land of Lebanon as part of the territory of Israel. Deuteronomy 1 verse 7, Deuteronomy 3 verse 25, Deuteronomy 11 verse 24, Joshua 1 verse 4, Joshua 11 verse 17, Joshua 13 verse 6, 1 Kings 9 verse 19, par, Chronicles 8 verse 6, Zechariah 10 verse 10. In other instances, the writers of the Old Testament think of Lebanon as the northern boundary of the land God promised to his people. Joshua 1 verse 4, Joshua 9 verse 1, Joshua 11 verse 17, Joshua 12 verse 7, Joshua 13 verse 5, Judges 3 verse 3. In two instances, Joshua 13 verse 5, Song of Songs 4 verse 8, Lebanon is used to describe all the hill country in middle Syria. And this post is an image of the Islamic Arab state flag of the Lebanon in Georgia that is very similar to the continental flag of the Washita Merz, aka the flag of New England, which has a cherry red background with a pine tree / cedar tree on it. See both flags in this post of a comparison. In ancient times, the Merz, the capital M-U-U-R-S, or the mound builders, aka the ancient ones, were known as the tree people because some of them used to live in these giant cedars of Lebanon and marvelous tree houses, and were able to download all of the world's knowledge just by touching these giant cedars of God. Also, these giant cedars of God produce the God molecule called DMT in abundance. Additionally, these giant cedars of God were a great source of commerce for our people because these giant cedars of Lebanon produce the best wood in the world for lumber. Which flag influenced who, or whose flag is the oldest between the state flag of Lebanon and the continental flag of the Washita Moors? Since they are so similar, well, we know that the Washita Moors are the oldest indigenous people on the planet according to the United Nations. So, M-U-U-R-S are really Moors. We also know that Islam came from Orient East, which is the Americas, and that America is the true old world. All of this evidence highly suggests that the continental flag of the Moors, or the Moors, M-U-U-R-S, predates the state flag of Lebanon, which means that the state flag of Lebanon is just a reflection or a copy of what the Moors, which is the Moors, Tartarians, had already established in the Americas. We have 26 Goshen place names in North America. Goshen, Alabama, Goshen, Arkansas, Goshen, California, Goshen, Connecticut, Goshen, Georgia, Goshen, Idaho, Goshen, Indiana, Goshen, Kentucky, Goshen, Maryland, Goshen, Massachusetts, Goshen, Mississippi, Goshen, Missouri, Goshen, New Hampshire, Goshen, New Jersey, Goshen, New York, Goshen, Ohio, Goshen, Oregon, Goshen, Pennsylvania, Goshen, South Carolina, Goshen, Tennessee, Goshen, Texas, Goshen, Utah, Goshen, Vermont, Goshen, Virginia, Goshen, Washington, and Goshen, West Virginia. All of these Goshen place names are strong evidence suggesting that the biblical Goshen was in the Americas. We have 20 Canaan place names in North America, including Canaan, Arkansas, Canaan, Alabama, Canaan, Connecticut, Canaan, Connecticut, Canaan, Florida, Canaan, Georgia, Canaan, Indiana, Canaan, Maine, Canaan, Mississippi, Canaan, Missouri, Canaan, New Hampshire, Canaan, New York, Canaan, North Carolina, Canaan, Ohio, Canaan, Oregon, Canaan, South Carolina, Canaan, Tennessee, Canaan, Texas, Canaan, Vermont, Canaan, Virgin Islands, and Canaan, West Virginia. We also have a Canada in North America, which was named after the Canaanites or the Canaan Moors from Wakanda. Let's not forget the Canaan Valley State Park located in Canaan Valley, West Virginia. All of these Canaan place names are strong evidence suggesting that the biblical Canaan was in the Americas. Lastly, the Grand Canyon was named after the Canaanites with K-H-A-N-A-A-N-I-T-E-S / capital C-A-N-A-A-N-I-T-E-S. Since canyon is a derivative of can, K-A-N, or can, C-A-N, which is short for Canaan, or Canaan on Canyon. And this post is a map of South America being listed as Canaan and ancient Egypt as North America. And I have sources to authenticate it since ancient Mesopotamia was in the Americas. And so was ancient Egypt in the Americas. Ancient Egypt, land of Canaan. As you can see by viewing the map of Old Canaan and ancient Egypt, the biblical land of Canaan was in South America and ancient Egypt was in North America, which was known as the Orient East, India, Superior, and or Asia Major. I have sources to authenticate this map too, because I have already written blog posts proving that ancient Mesopotamia was in the Americas and ancient Egypt was in the Americas, which gives credence to this map as being factual. In addition, there is an area in South America near Guyana, named Egypt, land of Canaan. Egypt is just a small part of land of Canaan. The community on the east bank of Demerara, according to this link. Yes, Canaan, son of Ham, Cush, aka the Phoenicians, give birth to ancient Egypt and North America. This is also historically correctly too, according to the Western academia, since Cush or Ethiopia gave birth to ancient Egypt in the north. America is the land of milk and honey, or the promised land of Israel, Granada land. This means that Old Canaan, Egypt, Jerusalem, Sumer, Babylon, etc. was in the Americas. Since the Americas is the land of the Bible and the true far east, and this post is the original compass before it was flipped around to deceive us in the world. This original compass was taken from Buxton and Skinner Company's 1904 ground plan of the Louisiana Purchase Exposition, St. Louis, Missouri, 1904. The East is associated with the land of the Bible and the Old World. Therefore, since the Americas is the far East, the Americas is the true Old World. Peace.